What are some of the most common problems that men have nowadays that you wanted to address? Were they some of the things we talked about earlier, gambling, sex addiction, drug
Yeah,
addiction, all of
right.
that?
You're watching the Spotlight Network, starring Hollywood's
And if
newsman,
you were just
Logan
joining to
Crawford.
investigators, they now believe a single member.
He works with TV and film legends. And now, Logan's shining the spotlight on the world's top emerging authors and creators.
International were abducted.
This is Spotlight with Logan Crawford, streaming on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV.
I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're talking about a powerful book. It is called On Becoming an Effing Man. It is written by a terrific author, one of my favorite guests, one of my favorite writers. His name is Michael J. Ulrich. He has penned a spiritual self-growth book for men who don't go to church on Sundays, but still believe there's something bigger. Instead of religious language, the author uses the term higher power and offers a grounded spiritual perspective on real problems men face without being preachy or pushing doctrine. At its core, this is about finding peace within yourself through forgiveness, compassion, integrity, and standing up for what's right. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us once again here today. We thank the team of Citi Books for helping us put him on TV today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Michael, welcome back. Great to talk to you today.
Happy to talk with you also, Logan.
Excellent, my friend. Let's talk about becoming a man. It seems like being a man these days is kind of a dangerous spot to be. Men get a lot of criticism. Their masculinity is called toxic. It's a tough time to be a man. How do you propose men go about becoming an effing man?
Well, I think one of the things they need to do, which goes right along with the 12-step program, which is the first step of the 12-step program, it says, I am addicted to whatever, my life has become unmanageable. And basically, I think a man who wants to become a effing man has to say, I have a problem, and acknowledge they have a problem. Because if they don't do that, all the self-help books will never help you. You have to admit that I have a problem and I want to address it.
And what kind of problem could that be?
Oh, God, it can be anything. It could be sexual. It could be money. It could be relationships. It could be anything.
Exactly. It could be alcoholism. It could be drug addiction. It could be gambling. It could be.
Yeah. In my book, I have a list of all the addictions people can have.
Yeah.
And it fills up 2 pages of my book.
Wow.
So there are all kinds of addictions.
Exactly. Now, you describe this book as being spiritually, not religious. Talk to us about the difference.
Yeah, right. Well, a lot of people get burned by religion and they get unhappy about religion. And in me writing this book, where I do not talk about God, Jesus Christ, or the Holy Spirit, I only talk about the higher power. I'm trying to sidestep that problem that men have. That if they have upset with a religion, I'm not going there and I'm not even addressing that issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What are some of the most common problems that men have nowadays that you wanted to address? Were they some of the things we talked about earlier, gambling, sex addiction, drug addiction, all of that?
Well, yeah, we have all of the addictions. You know, I said there are 2 pages of it in my book. I think all of us have addictions of one type or another. I'm addicted to licorice, ballroom dancing, and the Sunday newspaper. Now, those things, if I act them out, is not going to cause me problems. But
exactly.
I think a man needs to look at their life and say, maybe I have an addiction. And it's okay if you have an addiction. Don't judge yourself for it. And there's tons of self-help groups out there to help you out.
Exactly. Exactly. What does it mean to be a sensitive man in a culture that often pushes sensitivity or punishes sensitivity, I should say?
You have to get into the other person's position. You have to say to yourself, what is this person thinking? What are they feeling? Try to get connected with them in a non-judgmental way.
Absolutely. And I think a big part of being a man is part of your book as well, which is standing up for what's right. Talk
Right,
to us about the
absolutely.
importance of taking a stand.
Well, lots of, you know, things happen to me every day. I get people that high beam me driving, and I'm not driving fast enough.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get upset by what that guy's doing to me because I value my personal peace. So
Mm.
I just let it go and not make a big deal about it. So I think a lot of men, when they get upset, need to ask themselves the question, is my peace more important than getting upset by this? And
Exactly.
that plays out very well for me in my life because, things happen and I just choose not to get upset by it.
Exactly. You can't control the others around you.
You
You
got that
can't
right.
control the situation, but you can control yourself and you can
Absolutely.
control your reaction to that,
You got
right?
it. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And exactly, your peace is very, very important. Where do you think most modern men lose their peace? Do you think it's work, relationships, identity, purpose?
I think what happens is they think having something will give them happiness. You know, it could be anything from, the physical things, cars, motorcycles, or it can be relationships.
Yeah.
They want a relationship to be happy. And a lot of times when men do that, they lose track of what they really want. And that what they want is peace and happiness. And getting that thing, for example, a big pickup truck with big wheels and tires, they think that's going to make them happy. It's not going to make them happy.
Yeah, exactly. It'll make you happy maybe the first week that you're
That's
excited
right.
about driving it, but it's very, after a
I was just,
while, you don't even know you're in a different car.
yeah, I would say by the time they get their third payment bill to make on the truck, they're probably not feeling as happy as they did when they got it.
Exactly. And it's true with everything. That new car
Yeah,
smell wears off and it's not as exciting after you've made a bunch of payments or, you get the girl finally and you're living with her. It might not be as exciting as you imagined. You got to
right,
have the peace within. You got to have the happiness within. You have to be happy despite your circumstances, not because of them, right?
right.
Yeah. Absolutely. What's one habit you believe changes a man's life fastest when he starts talking about spirituality?
Would you repeat the question? I didn't quite hear it.
Sure, absolutely. When a man starts taking spirituality seriously, what's one thing about a man's life that you think changes most quickly once he
Well, I think,
embraces spirituality?
as I mentioned earlier, saying I have a problem. There's something here about me that I do not like. And once they make that statement and they don't try to find a quick fix for it, like a pickup truck or anything like that, things will come to them. I believe in a higher power, and that higher power can give you those things that really will make you truly happy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the eternal, like we said, it's inner peace, it's inner happiness.
Right.
When did you discover your spirituality or your spiritual connection in life?
Well, I think I've always had it
Hmm.
because I'm attracted to people that have a spirituality.
Yeah.
Um, my most favorite college professor carried a rifle all across Europe during World War II.
Mhm.
And I know he was in some really tough situations. He never talked to me about it, but I was always attracted to him.
Hmm.
Then he died, and I talked to one of his daughters. And I said, "Hey, can you tell me about him spiritually? Because we never talked about things spiritually." And he said he grew up in a town called Toppenish, Washington, which is the center of the Yakima Indian
Hmm.
reservation. And he was brought in by the Yakima Indians and was taught their spirituality. Now,
Hmm.
here's a man who had horrendous problems fighting during World War II,
Hmm.
but he was always glued together. He was glued together in the classroom, he was glued together uh, in business because
Hmm.
he was very successful in his business. And that man had a spirituality that transcended his problems.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When
Right.
a reader's done with your book when they finish, when they've turned that last page and they only change one thing? What do you hope that is?
Well, that they have the ability to say, I have a problem. That is the biggest thing out there. If they say, I've got a problem, they will do something to try to fix it. I believe they will do that.
Yeah. And what's the first step to solving your problem? You have to admit you have a problem. That's step
Right.
one. So I guess what's step two? I guess addressing it head on. Once you've admitted it, you can
But
come up with
I
a
think you
remedy.
need to talk to your higher power and say, hey, higher power, I've got a problem here. Help me out. That's step two, is to ask for help. That you can't handle it yourself, ask for help.
Yeah.
And that's what my book does, is try to get people to ask for help.
Yeah.
And besides your higher power, there are all types of self-help organizations out there. They're everywhere, and they're so easy to find because we now have the internet. And you can type in, I have a problem getting along with women.
Right.
And you type that in, and lots of stuff will come up. Well, you can hopefully solve that.
Yeah. Lots of great resources out there nowadays. Do you think it's tougher in 2026 being a man than other times in history?
That's a good question. I don't know whether I can really say yes to that or not, because I think men have always had a problem of learning who they are and who do they want to be.
Mm.
I don't think, maybe it's harder now than it used to be 10 years ago. I don't know, but I think men do have problems today because there's people out there that'll give them a quick fix.
Yeah.
And when you're trying to solve a problem, don't go for the quick fix.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of temptations out there in the digital age. You can order anything from a book to a car to a person online nowadays.
You got that right. Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a good thing because, like I said, there's a lot of temptations and a lot of people out there with addiction, so you have to be careful. Michael, great work with this book. You've really done a great job in framing everything so men can understand what they need to do to become an effing man. The name of the book is On Becoming an Effing Man. It is written by Michael J. Ulrich. It is a spiritual self-growth book for men who don't want to go to church or don't necessarily go to church on Sundays, but still believe there is something bigger, that there is a higher calling. Instead of religious language, the author uses the term higher power and offers a grounded spiritual perspective on real problems for real men and what they're facing today in 2026. Michael, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Oh, that was a great summation of our conversation, Logan. I'm very happy with what you said.
Well, I appreciate that, and great work on this book and great work on this interview as always. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time.